Hey kiddos. All right, we're going to do our first grammar lesson together. We're going to start off with something a little easy and talk about subjects and predicates. Like, what is that? So we'll be talking about complete and simple subject and predicates. So let's get started. Hopefully you can see my handy dandy little laser beam pointer there. All right, let's go. There we go. All right, so we're going to start with complete subjects and predicates. So just a little overview. A sentence is a group of words that express a complete thought. So when you write a beautiful, complete sentence that Mrs. Burton is always asking you to write, there should always be a subject, what you're talking about, and a predicate, which is what the subject is doing or how it's feeling, some sort of verb, okay? So right now I need you to take out your ELA binder that we set up earlier this week. If you don't have a binder, get out your notebook for now, but I strongly advise having your binders put together and ready to go since we kind of spent some time on that earlier this week. And start setting up your note pages. It should probably be the first page you're going to be writing any notes in. The very top of your page, write today's date. Then you should also write the title. The title is going to be easy for you to find. It's right up here where it says complete subjects and predicates. That is your title. And then use your best handwriting so your notes are easy to review later. This is a recording, so you can push pause and work at your own pace. All right, so don't feel rushed. Take your time, really understand what's happening here. All right, every time you see this handy dandy little bitmoji of me with a pencil, that means it's note taken time. So we're starting off right now with complete subjects and predicates. And on the following slides, you're going to be doing a lot of writing. So let's get prepared. All right, so our first, thing that we're going to be talking about is complete subject. So the complete subject includes all the words that tell whom or what the sentence is about. Notice that it says all the words. So later in this presentation, we're going to also learn about simple subject, and that's going to be like one word. But with complete subject, it's all the words. So for instance, we're going to look at this here. Example, 9 planets orbit the sun. So we're looking for complete subject. If this said simple subject, well, we know that this sentence is talking about planets. So simple subject would be planets, but complete subject. How many planets? We're talking about 9 planets. So we need to ask ourselves, what is the main thing this sentence is talking about? Well, we just answered that. It's talking about the 9 planets. So let's click on here to see if we're right. 9 planets. We are. Like my Bitmoji hand. It's kind of weird. But we're going to keep looking at it on the next few slides. Again, make sure you're taking notes. If you need time to write this down, this would be a good time to pause this video. I would write complete subject, underline it or highlight it with your highlighter, and then write what the definition is and the example. Instead of writing 9 planets orbit the sun and then 9 planets again, you could just highlight 9 planets after you write this, okay? Let's talk about complete predicate. So one way to remember predicate is it's usually a verb. Now, if you remember back in 5th grade, you might have learned what a verb is. It's an action word. So it's all the words that have some sort of action, what it is or what it does. So this would be your time when you write complete predicate and this definition here, okay? Here's an example. The word planet comes from the Greek word meaning wander. Ask yourself, what is the sentence telling us about the objects? Well, it comes from a Greek word meaning wanderer. That is the complete predicate. So let's see, the word planet, that would be our subject, our complete subject. And then everything that's after the complete subject is going to be our complete predicate. So starting right here, comes from the Greek word meaning wanderer. That's our complete predicate. The question you could ask yourself is, what is the sentence telling us about the subject? It'll be everything past the subject. All right. So let's try to identify some complete subjects together. This you're going to have to do some pausing on, which is totally fine. So get your cursor ready so you can push pause on the video when I tell you. But here's the directions. In your notebooks, I want you to number down your paper starting with 1 and ending with 5. So each line go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down your paper. So on the next slide, you'll find 5 sentences that all contain a complete subject and a complete predicate. Look at each sentence, 1 through 5, and write down what you think the complete subject is. The complete subject. All right, let's go to the next slide here. So at this point, you should have numbered your paper down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I want you to pause this video and try to identify the complete subject for each of the 5 lines. All right, go ahead and hit pause. I hope you pushed pause. So if you're back now, that means you're ready to check your work. Ready? Here we go. Here's the answer key. So number 1, the complete subject of the sentence, the sun is much bigger than all the other planets. It's not just the word sun, it's the sun. Complete subject. So there's going to be multiple words usually, or talk about multiples of the same word. We'll see that in the number 3. Planets in the solar system reflect light from the sun. What's the complete subject? Planets in the solar system. Not just planets, planets in the solar system. Now this one's a little goofy. Notice the word stars. It's the multiple of the word star. It means more than one. Stars twinkle in the sky at night. So it's not stars twinkle, because twinkle is a verb, right? A predicate maybe? Wink, wink. But we're looking for the subject. So the word is stars. Number 4, planets shine with a steadier light. Again, multiples, planets. Right here, so we only need one word, but it's multiple of the same word. And then number 5, stars such as our sun make their own light and heat. The answer is stars such as our sun. Stars such as our sun. So if this is where our complete subject ends, oops, I want to go back. Oop. If this is where our complete subject ends, then our complete predicate starts right here. Oh yeah. All right, let's try the next thing. So now we're going to try identifying some complete predicates. Now you're going to do the same thing. Skip 1 or 2 lines from the answers you gave from the last slide on your notes. Then again, number down your paper starting with 1 and ending with 5. So you'll be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down your paper. On the next slide, you will find 5 sentences that all contain a complete subject and a complete predicate. Look at each sentence, 1 through 5, and write down the complete predicate. So the verb, the action, what's happening to the complete subject. All right, let's check it out. There we go. So identifying the complete predicate. Number 1, right here, I want you to pause this video and identify the complete predicate. And pause. Did you pause your video? If you didn't, you should do that right now. Okay, I'm taking your word for it that you paused and you wrote these in your notes. Let's review what the answers are here. All right, number 1, some of the planets have satellites or moons. Well, what's the complete subject? Is it just planets, or is it some of the planets? It's some of the planets, which means the rest of the sentence is the complete predicate. Have satellites or moons. Number 2, our planet has only 1 satellite. Well, what's the complete subject? our planet. So the remaining part of the sentence is telling us what the subject is or is doing. It has only one satellite. Number 3, the largest planet is Jupiter. Well, the complete subject is the largest planet. So the predicate is just 2 words, is Jupiter. Number 4, asteroids, meteoroids, and comets belong to our solar system. Ooh, I forgot a period. Oopsie. That means belong to our solar system right here, the last part, because this complete subject is asteroids, meteoroids, and comets. And the last one, number 5, many of the asteroids orbit in an area between Mars and Jupiter. Well, we're talking about many of the asteroids. So that's where the complete subject ends, which means the complete predicate starts here. Orbits in an area between Mars and Jupiter. All right. Oh, there she is again. Bitmoji Miss B. That means you're going to start some new lines in your notebook or in your binder, preferably. So your next title is Simple Subjects and Predicates. So we're not talking about complete subjects or predicates anymore. Now we're down to the simple ones, usually one-word responses. And they're sometimes kind of tricky. They're words that you're like, well, that's not a very important word. But guess what? It is. Okay. So you can either turn to a new page in your binder or notebook, or you can just skip down a few lines and start the new title, Simple Subjects and Predicates. I suggest underlining it so it stands a little bit more. If you're starting a new page, make sure you date it with today's date. And then use your best handwriting so your notes are easy to review later. You will have assignments based on your grammar lessons. You'll have quizzes, and I will let you use your notes. So it's important that you do a nice job on your notes. Okay? Let's take a look. So simple subject. A simple subject is the main word or words in the complete subject. So remember in the complete subject, we had like the sun. Well, if we do the simple subject, it would just be sun. So the words that describe the subject are not part of the simple subject. An example, insects all over the world are fascinating. I want you to ask yourself, what is the simplest main thing this sentence is talking about? Can you think of it? Let's click to reveal. It's insects. This entire sentence is about insects. All over the world are fascinating. So insects is our simple subject. Now this one, the definition is kind of long, but I broke it down. You see the different colored words? Those would be separate lines. So for simple predicate, I would underline that, is the main word or words in the complete predicate of the sentence. The next line for another definition, verbs are action words. They show a condition or a state of being. And then linking verbs, those are the words that are like, this isn't very important, like is or in or at. These teeny tiny little baby words, they don't seem very important, but they are. They're some sort of action, some sort of condition or a state of being of the other words. And then action verbs, those are probably the words that you're the most familiar with verbs. Running, jumping, hopping, skipping, orbiting, those kind of words. They tell what the subject does, even when the action cannot be seen. Like feelings? Okay, so keep that in mind. Example, children around the world love folk tales. Ask yourself, what is the action of the subject? It's a subject. Children? Folk tales? What are we talking about? We're talking about children who love something. So what's the action? I gave you a little hint. It's love. Yep, love's an action. It's something we do. You can't see it. It's a feeling, right? Now let's try to identify some simple subjects. So again, number down your paper, starting with 1 and ending with 5. On the next slide, you're going to find 5 sentences. Look at each sentence, 1 through 5, and write down what you think the simple subject is. All right, there are your sentences. I want you to pause this video and get started. Did you pause it? Huh? Did you? I hope so. Here we go. Let's reveal. So number 1, large dragonflies dart around the pond. What's the simple subject? What's the one word? It's dragonflies, not large dragonflies, just dragonflies. If we were talking about complete subjects, it would be the large dragonflies. But since we're looking for the simple subject, just like a one-word thing, it's dragonflies. Number 2, honeybees gather nectar in the flowers. It's honeybees. Simple word. Now the next one's a little tricky. The chocolate chip cookie was covered with ants. What's the simple subject? Is it chocolate chip cookie? No, it's just cookie. Just like in number 1 where it says large dragonflies, we don't want that large. We just want the simplest subject, and it's cookie. Number 4, wasps often build their nests underground. It's wasps. That's a tricky word to say. It's like saying masks. Wasps. There we go. Number 5, monarch butterflies travel to warmer places when the weather gets too cold. Again, simplest form. Monarch is a type of butterfly, but we're just talking about butterflies. So the simplest thing that we're talking about is butterflies. So check your answers. If you need to make any changes, go ahead and hit pause, underline, or make any of your corrections. Now let's try simple predicates. Again, these are going to be the verbs. What is happening to the subject? What is the subject doing? How is the subject feeling? Okay, so again, skip a couple of lines, number down your paper 1 through 5. And then on the next slide, you're going to find 5 sentences. Look at each of the sentences 1 through 5 and write down the simple predicate / verb. All right, here we go. I want you to pause your video right now. All right, let's go through your answers. Click to reveal. All right, here's where you're going to see that first weird word where you're like, what? Miss B, that makes no sense. But it does. It's a linking verb. Folk tales are make-believe stories about people and animals. What are folk tales? They are something. That's a linking verb, a simple predicate. Number 2, many English folk tales start with the words, once upon a time. What do folk tales do? They start. That's how I try to find the simple predicate in things. I ask, what is the subject doing? What is the subject feeling? And that helps me find the word. A version of the Cinderella story exists in many different countries. What does the Cinderella story do? It exists. Number 4, many folktales have a handsome prince as the hero. What do many folktales do? They have something. They have a handsome prince as the hero. Number 5, the prince fights many battles against dragons or monsters. What does the prince do? He fights. So make sure you write these down. If you need to make any changes, now's the time. You can always pause it. Remember, it's a video. All right, now check your notes. Are main words underlined or highlighted? If they're not, go back and do it. Get those notes nice and organized. Are your definitions clear? You didn't just take loose notes. You took the time to write out the full definition. Remember, you get to use your notes on your quizzes and tests with me. Can you easily read your notes? Again, are they very easy to read? They're not chicken scratch. If you answered yes to all of these, go ahead and move to the next slide. If you did not, feel free to pause and rewind this video as many times as you need to. Okay, so let's take a look at the final slide. Vocabulary lesson. I love vocabulary. I hope you like it too. I think we've already had a couple of videos this week, but this one is so perfect. So you need to go to your vocabulary. This is a link. I don't think it'll work for you because this is a recording, but it's vocabulary.com. I'll link it in the Google Classroom. You're going to click login in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. When the sign-in screen comes up, you're going to click log in with Google. This is going to prompt you to log in to your kcsmn.org email address, your school issued email and password, which you should have gotten last year or this year, hopefully. If not, I can help you out. Number 3, select our ELA class. Make sure you're going to the Burton ELA. At this point, you're in ELA and you're in social studies, so make sure you're going to ELA and complete the subject and predicate assignment. You should complete all of this by 11:59 p.m. tonight. Hopefully you do that sooner because 11:59 is very, very late for my precious 11 and 12-year-olds. And I want you to watch the video, complete the read and respond, then complete the quiz. The quiz is usually about 10 points. If you happen to do less than 70%, it'll tell you. You can send me an email and you can retake the quiz once for a better score. I will take your best out of 2. Shoot for your best the first try. But if you need to retake it because you got less than 70%, go ahead and email me. All right? All right, guys. Good luck. Let me know if you have any questions. You can always email me at bburton@kcsmn.org, or you can contact me through the Google Classroom. All right. Have a great day.